Hey guys, Second here bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so here he is, the man himself, EZA Janemba. This guy on release was super good, on EZA he was super good, and obviously now we have his super EZA, so we're going to check him out here and see how well he can do on one of his 200% leads. Obviously extreme yet to get one of the 220 leads. I don't imagine one of the headliners for part 2 of the anniversary is going to be an extreme character either, so I guess we're probably going to be waiting until the first Dokkan Fest that comes out after the anniversary, because for the last few years that has been an extreme character. So be interesting to see which of these guys, like some of these big ticket units like the Boos, Janemba, Broly's for example, if any of these guys get 220 leads once that first unit comes out. But anyway, we got our boy obviously at full level 10 links. I've got him with, I think I gave him most of the skill orbs that he gets from his special event, because they work quite well for him. I think Gogeta's are the ones that are slightly off, but he of course doesn't get a change to his super attack effect or leader skill. His super attack doesn't really have like a useful effect or anything, but when it comes to his passive, key 2 attack and defense 200%, guards all attacks, high chance to dodge, so 50%. Before attacking, he has an extra 20% chance to dodge. When he is the first or third to obtain key spheres in the turn, he gets another 20% chance to dodge, and all allies 2 key and defense 40%. So if he's in slot 1, he's got 90% chance to dodge, and then even after he's attacked, he still has a 70% chance to dodge. When he receives an attack, he gets 100% attack and defense. That counts as dodging as well, by the way. For each attack received or evaded, he gets 50% up to 200%. At least I believe it does. Actually, no, because what is it? There's a certain wording, because otherwise it wouldn't say received or evaded, so maybe it doesn't. Because each attack received or evaded, he gets 50% attack up to 200. As long as he dodges an attack, he launches an additional super for 4 turns. So ideally, he dodges one of those attacks in slot 1 and then gets the benefit of that straight away. Even if he doesn't, then obviously on his next appearance, he will still get a guaranteed additional super. Then when there's a super class enemy, he gets 200% extra defense and attacks are effective against all types. And then if there's an extreme class enemy, 100% defense and a great chance for attacks to be effective against all types. So the interesting thing about that is that will only be reflected in the damage that he does, because his attack stat will be the same. We just won't know, especially if it's like a different boss. Like if he's only on each rotation once against the boss, we can't really compare the damages, but certainly going to be an interesting one for him. The big thing that I notice is like he does have guard, he does have relatively good defense, and he has a high dodge chance, but he doesn't have any damage reduction or anything like that. So it's going to be interesting to see how well he does against some of these big attacks. So he's got a couple of 200% leads. We're using the Tech Buuhan. I don't have Int Broly. That would be a crazy team for him. Obviously movie bosses with the Tech Broly. And then we've just got some older units like AGL Broly, STR Cooler, Harudagan, like characters that we're probably not going to run. He is on Daima Goku's 200% lead as well, which is interesting. I want to do a build with Glorio as well, because he only gets the 170 lead from Glorio, but then with the double Glorio support, it'll be interesting to see how that matches up, because obviously that double Glorio leads team is pretty crazy. And you can link him up with a bunch of these other Boos. So we've got the Tech Buuhan, we've got the Int Buuhan, we've got both the Kid Boos. Basically everyone on the team has big bad bosses. I also brought the other Janemba just so we can kind of compare, but he's at 494k. Now bear in mind, at the moment in the game, the toughest events are against the extreme class enemies with these new red zone stages. I guess we could have done Goku and Frieza to have a super class enemy, but he is going to be getting more defense if there's a super class enemy. And yeah, let's just go ahead and see how well we get on. So good thing is he has no restriction for like orbs or anything like that, so we don't need to worry about that. So we'll just go ahead and see how we get on. His defense has gone up because, does it apply straight away? Yeah, when he's the first or third attacker to obtain key spheres, he gives all allies 2 key and 40% defense. So that's applied to himself straight away, so 532k. So let's go ahead and do this, and let's see what we get. It's obviously with the Kid Buu support. 6 million attack, obviously not very high, but he builds up by receiving or dodging the attacks, right? So dodge the attacks here. That means we've got our guaranteed additional super on the next turn. 3 dodges, so that will build up his stats quite a little bit. Be interesting to see the difference. So 5 odd million, 500k-ish defense, 6 million attack stat for the super, and then we'll see what that's looking like on the next turn here. Double super from Physical Kid Buu. Physical Kid Buu is one of those units that is kind of starting to maybe become a bit of a liability for some of these harder events, especially if you don't get his damage reduction built up like early on. I should really put you in slot 1. Let you get some build up here. Use this for you. And then do this. Because the thing is, with Janemba being a slot 1, I guess I want my rotations to actually just be both Janembas and then both Tech Buuhans, I guess. Yeah, I wanted to bring the physical Janemba to kind of compare the two, because physical Janemba can get some really great build up and has damage reduction. So I think in like longer events, Janemba might end up being Janemba. They're both Janemba. Physical Janemba might actually end up being slightly better, especially when it comes to like slot 1 tanking something like a super attack, because we're going to see on the next turn what Int Janemba's build up has gotten him to. Obviously it'd be interesting to see with the Buuhan domain as well once we get one of those active, but let's see what Janemba is looking like for turn 2 here. Obviously we're gonna have to float off you. So with Buu, he gets all of these links, so he works really well with Buuhan. 428k defense start of turn, because this is the thing, like start of turn defense is 428k and he has guard. He has a 90% chance to dodge, but if he doesn't dodge a super in slot 1, even though it is only a 10% chance, like he will die, right? So we've dodged, what was it, 3 times last time? So we got the extra 50%. I don't think he received an attack, so we didn't get the buff for that. So let's do that, and then we'll just grab those for you. So let's see. Ideally, we want him to get hit by an attack here, really, but there's the dodges, 90%. Then we get to attack. See, now we're up to 20 million. That's considerably better. That's his full build-up now. Gets the guaranteed additional because he dodged. So another 20 million. And then now we have a 70% chance to dodge. I mean, so far he's dodged everything. So, I mean, you can't really complain, even if he's not doing the craziest numbers. Like, it's kind of, I mean, he has a better dodge chance, so I'm not saying he's on the same level or anything like that, but it's kind of like how Harudegan is able to look sometimes. It's like there are times where you take him into an event and he could dodge literally everything. And like when he's transformed, he can do some pretty decent attack stats. So then it looks like he's a really good unit. And then obviously other times you take him into an event and he just immediately doesn't dodge and just sells the run. But I mean, Int Janemba obviously has a very, very good chance of being able to dodge those attacks, especially in slot 1 with the 90% chance to dodge. But as we've already seen, like his pre-super defense, even with having guard, like that's not enough for him to survive like some of these big supers. And because of the way his passive is like laid out, like he wants to be in slot 1. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see. Like I feel like this guy, everyone when the details dropped was so all over this guy being so clearly better than Gogeta, but like they do very different things. Janemba's very clearly designed to be a slot 1 unit, but he is, as we've already said, going to rely on dodge when it comes to taking the bigger hits, whereas Gogeta is designed to be a slot 2 unit, and as we've already seen, because I've done his showcase already, like by the time he's done attacking as a slot 2 unit, his defense is insanely high with damage reduction, so he will survive super attacks that will kill Janemba in slot 1. But that's the thing, right? When you're comparing a slot 1 unit to a slot 2 unit, they're obviously going to be very different. But Janemba, he's going to be that unit that there will be so many runs where he's just going to clutch up and just dodge everything, slot 1, never take any damage, putting out some reasonable attack stats. He's supporting the rest of the rotation as well, which is obviously something that shouldn't be overlooked. Then Buuhan. I mean, Buuhan's just crazy. The fact that Buuhan got his Super EZA before these two and is better than both of them, I would say. Especially if, like, after he's done attacking. Because, again, like Gogeta, he's a unit that, post-super, defense is obviously very, very good. He can't really slot 1. I mean, he can in certain situations, but he's not ideal for slot 1. But yeah, this guy, because if we put him in slot, if we have to put him in slot 2, which we, like on this turn, it's not like we have to. It just means one of the boos won't get links. But if we don't put him in slot 1, he loses some dodge chance and he loses the support, which the support is definitely quite helpful. Because after he's attacked, if he was in slot 2, he would only have a 50% chance to dodge, which is not necessarily the end of the world. But again, like 475k defense start of turn. He doesn't actually get any extra defense other than when receiving an attack. So he doesn't get defense from his super attack or anything. So it's not like Gogeta, who attacks and then suddenly jumps up to being like over 2 million, well, close to 2 million or even over on some of his better turns, defense with damage reduction and everything built in. This guy literally has, if he doesn't receive an attack, he just has 500k defense and guard. Which is fine if he never receives an attack because he keeps dodging everything, which is great. And there he dodges again. So on the next turn, he's going to get the guaranteed additional super. But that's the unfortunate thing as well, that kind of drops off. Like on this turn, because there were no attacks in slot 1, he didn't get to dodge before he attacked, which means he just did one attack. And now he's dodged, and so now he can get a guaranteed attack on the next turn. It's not very common that there aren't attacks in slot 1, but obviously it's not an ideal scenario. There's a lot of characters like that, right? Like Beast Gohan, a bunch of these other characters that they want to get hit or dodge an attack before they attack, and it makes them significantly better if they do. So then when you get turns where there's no attacks in slot 1, then obviously their performance is not going to be as good. But Janemba definitely seems very solid. The only thing I would say, like my initial reaction, it is funny seeing people's response to their details on paper, but my initial reaction to seeing like some of the numbers specifically is that the Gogeta is definitely better than Janemba. I mean, physical Janemba starts the turn with higher defense. Now, bear in mind, he's an LR, but he got his EZA fairly recently. He starts the turn with higher defense. He has 22% damage reduction, just basically. Let's see, when attacking first or second attacker, he gets another 22%. He can launch additionals if he's the second or third attacker, so he has a high chance to dodge a super built in. So yeah, I mean, realistically, the difference between them in slot 1 is that Janemba has physical Janemba has lower dodge chance, but has higher defense and damage reduction. And Int Janemba has the crazy dodge, and obviously physical Janemba also has the rage mode, as you can see here. So it's one of those things where it's going to be, as I've said already, different in certain situations, right? There's going to be runs where Janemba just dodges absolutely everything in slot 1, looks like an absolute beast. Because realistically, I say looks like a beast, like it's not like he's hitting insanely hard or anything, but obviously by dodging, that's, you know, it's one of the reasons why, you know, AGL UI is so good on turn 1 and will age so well for short events. It's why Tech Caulifla can be so good in certain events on like certain team builds. Like if a unit is just never taking any damage, then it doesn't really matter if they're not doing insane damage themselves, because they provide you that defensive option that's just, you know, not going to die. And that's going to help you win some of these events. And especially on teams like this and in combos like this, where you've got units like the Tech Buuhan, who can be really, really good, but isn't really a good slot 1 unit, or Int Buuhan, who's obviously very, very good, but can't really be a slot 1 unit in a lot of scenarios. Like, he's going to work really well as a partner for them, but in terms of his individual performance, like the numbers that he's doing and everything, I wouldn't say he's that crazy in terms of offense or defense. In terms of, when I say defense, I of course mean like his actual defensive stat. Oh, of course, this is always going to be a bit of a nightmare as well. I should have thought about this. I didn't want to do the same event that I did for the Gogeta showcase, but of course, in this stage, we can't dodge. Well, at least we're going to see him actually receive an attack now, though, finally. So let's go ahead and transform with Buuhan, get the domain up here. Because this should give... Is it uncontrollable power? Yeah, so he gives a boost to Janemba. It's power absorption or transformation boost. So I think actually he is buffing Frieza as well. But that's fine. So we'll do that. I want to be able to grab all those tech orbs. So we'll grab that for you. And then grab those for you. So Janemba's going to get hit. We get the guaranteed additional super because we dodged previously. So he takes double digits from the normal. Then we got a 25 million. So that's a little bit better, right? Because then we're getting the extra attack as well. So in this turn, his attack stats are actually higher than Gogeta. Didn't get the hidden potential. And then obviously tanks for normals for double digits. What does the Frieza do in terms of normals? Obviously he's not going to be hitting like insanely hard, but his normals do 650k. And then obviously he does greatly raise attack, so if he has supered first, he'll do more damage on those normals. But Super Buu should be able to eat a super here from this Frieza. But yeah, Janemba, in an event like this where this dodge is disabled, like if he got supered in slot 1, that could potentially be quite bad. Under 500k defense start of turn. Guard is nice. I guess when receiving the attack, he immediately gets the 100%, so he goes up to having like 1 million. But this Frieza hits for like 1.8. So guard would shave a decent amount off of that as well. But he's definitely still going to take like some damage from the super in slot 1 if he doesn't dodge. But obviously, events that disable dodge, I would say probably, especially if they are high difficulty level events, I would say events that disable dodge, you just don't bring this guy, right? So if we activate the rage mode here, and then we can do this, because then that fixes our rotation issue and puts physical Janemba in slot 1. Then we do that. Do this. I don't know if the rage... I don't think the rage mode will kill Frieza here. I mean, the first hit obviously does good damage because we get the entire orb field, but 19 mil. I mean, obviously with this little extra bit of utility obviously makes physical Janemba have that little bit of extra value as well, I think, because the rage mode capability to cancel out some of these enemy abilities is obviously very, very valuable. And, you know, it's nice that we do get some free damage as well, because we should basically guaranteed kill him on this next turn when we come out of the rage mode. And then the interesting thing will be, I guess it'll be the true test. As I say, there'll be some runs where Int Janemba could sell. But on this next turn, we've got the Int Full Power Frieza, who, of course, with the way he raises his attack and everything, his super hits for over 3 million damage. As long as Janemba dodges that in slot 1, then, you know, he's fulfilling the role that we want from him on the team. So I guess we'll have to see how that plays out. But yeah, the coercion, slot 1 is still locked, but we moved our Janemba into slot 1. That is a great bit of tech that if you're not aware for like rage modes and stuff when it comes to locking, is you go into the rage mode and then the characters are still in those same slots. So by moving them, even though every slot was then Janemba, by moving the middle one to slot 1, it means when we come out of the rage mode, Janemba was in slot 1. And so then it doesn't matter which one gets locked. It was slot 1 getting locked again, but it doesn't matter which one gets locked because we've now set the rotation to what we actually want it to be, which is a really good bit of tech for Giant Ape and Rage modes when it comes to enemies that can lock you. So we get a turn here to see this combo, which I've been very much looking forward to, is these guys together. So they share 4 links: Big Bad Bosses, Shocking Speed, Metamorphosis, and Fierce Battle. Obviously we've got the extra links for Buu because Kid Buu's in slot 3. 514k defense start of turn. So we'll go ahead and do this. Grab these for you. I mean, this will be a very strong turn here. But let's see how Janemba does. There's 4 attacks in slot 1. So the super coming in straight away, and there's the dodge. That's what we need. The normals, double-digit damage, and there's the dodge again. I wonder, he must get the when receiving an attack. He must get that 100%, surely. Because if he's only got 500k defense and guard start of turn, Frieza's normals are 750k, but that's before he raises his attack. So to tank them for double-digit damage, I guess guard, does it take off 1.5? I guess he would still then take double digits, but Frieza's normals are doing close to 1 million damage after he supers. So I think he does get the extra, if he dodges, the extra 100% attack and defense. 25 million attack stat supers. We do get the hidden potential additional, so this is where he's looking really good. 325 million damage, 325 million attack stat supers. Was that 60 million? That's with Kid Buu support. Yep, Kid Buu support and the Tech Buu domain active. Like, Buuhan is just on a whole other level. That 1-2 combo of Int Janemba and Buuhan. But that's what I'm talking about, is that's what you want Janemba to be on the team to do. He dodged the super, which was the most important thing, didn't take any damage outside of like double digits for that turn, did actually some good damage himself, and then that allowed the slot 2 unit, which in this instance is Buuhan, who's probably the best EZA character in the game currently, just absolutely destroy the boss. And then there you go, just one turn. That Frieza has 130 million HP, and between just Janemba and Buuhan attacking, they killed him. So yeah, INT Janemba definitely very, very good. I think I'm warming to him a little bit more, seeing those bigger numbers at the end when he gets that build up. So he definitely is going to be very strong. Events that disable dodge, it'll be a bit more risky, especially when it comes to a slot 1 super. I don't know actually now at this point, until I test them out a little bit more, whether I would say which one is better between him and Gogeta, but it's definitely not a huge gap, which is what people were making out when the details came out. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.